Welcome back, everyone, to the Reap Smite League. We have the DU Demons against Micromanagement here for an exciting set. It's Spooky Mars on the cast, joined by none other than Mr. Mega Dino, sir. Dino, how are you doing today? How you feeling about this set?
I'm doing well. I'm pretty excited to see how things work out. There were some roster changes, for micromanagement, including a team name change too. So some big things happening for that squad. I'm excited to see how they play out here against a more established squad like DU Demons. And the picks and bans already looking pretty good in my opinion, taking away some of those top picks, Spooky.
Yeah, and I've talked about this a little bit on other casts. The biggest question mark in picks and bans right now for me is that Chiron. Do you take it out? Do you leave it open and see if they first pick it? He's been seeing so much success lately and so much popularity. I think he's definitely worth considering in this first wave of picks and bans.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at a character like Chiron, you might also want to consider sort of the level of play here too. Maybe the carries at this level don't quite have Chiron in their arsenal because Chiron's he's a weird pick, right? He's been out of the meta for a very long time, and then suddenly Bluestone's just popping off, and everybody loves the Bluestone on the carries, and Chiron's just fragging it out. And so you might see them just ban it, not take it, and it looks like that's what DU Demons has opted for in this game.
Yeah, Chiron no longer up for consideration, but it's the Gilgamesh who gets locked in by micromanagement here. Gilgamesh, we haven't seen a whole lot of just yet. We've seen a little bit of him in the SPL, seen him a little bit in other leagues. He's got a lot of flex potential from what I've seen so far. He can play that solo lane, he can play that jungle. I've even seen him in that support role. How do you feel about Gilgamesh here in this first pick slot?
I think Gilgamesh is certainly a character worth picking up in the first slot. I think he just, as you said, I mean, he can play three different roles, top top tier, I think, and most of them, if not all of them, right? And it's weird because you saw some pros kind of like, oh, Gilgamesh isn't that good. But I think in the right hands, he just provides so much, not only utility, but pressure and kill potential too. And being able to sort of trap people out, kind of like a pseudo Odin cage, right? But, you also have that option to kind of do the drop kick, which is just fun to play, right? It's just a fun move. Something that we don't see very often, though, is this Bologna being picked up. And I think that is an interesting choice. Bologna typically, I mean, when I think of Bologna, I'm thinking of that disarm and sort of the strength that it has to counter maybe a heavy attack speed meta. So these characters, you got Gilgamesh, who works well with attack speed. Soul, you see being picked up, and we're not sure, is it Soul going mid? Is it maybe going into the carry role? She's certainly viable in both right now.
Yeah, it kind of looks like maybe the DU Demons are expecting this to be a Gilgamesh in the solo lane. So they pick up that Bologna. They've got a little bit of a counterplay there. Like you touched on, that disarm very strong against these basic attack focused gods, which Gilgamesh most definitely is. Sure, he has strong abilities, but most of his damage output is coming from those follow up basic attacks. And the Soul has seen so much popularity recently, but the Olorun, that one is surprising to me, right? I haven't seen a whole lot of Olorun. I really like Olorun. I think he's one of the best team fight ultimates in the entire game, but he's so vulnerable. He has so little mobility, and Gilgamesh and Jing are both really good at diving.
Yeah, man, like All Run was one of my best mid picks when I played mid, and it was kind of a weird situation there, right at the end of season 7, beginning of season 8. But I think the way that the map has just become bigger, it makes All Run a lot harder to play, and he almost plays kind of like Bastet, right, as an ult bot. You're just waiting for that ult to come back up before you can really do anything on him. And so it's interesting to see them kind of lean towards that. I think that they're looking to maybe feed that attack speed. You got Bologna, you got Fafnir, right? Heimdall all around. So maybe they're looking to utilize that ultimate. And I think that they can get good use out of it as long as this all around can stay alive. And we see Kukulkan being picked up as well. I'm a big fan of the snake, and I think that he's in a pretty good place. You do still need that setup, and we are going to see that in that Fenrir. So I think that this is a smart pickup, as well as the Xingqian could certainly set up the big snake.
You talk about low mobility mages, right? Well, hey, now we got two of them to look at in this game. The Fenrir is a really strong pickup here, I think, because like we were saying, he tracks these squishy, low mobility characters so very well. Oleron's going to have a really hard time dealing with him, especially with that CC immunity on the Fenrir ult. He's going to be able to run through the Sanctified Field without being slowed, pick Oleron up, drag him out of there, which is never where you want to be if you're the Oleron. But looking at the draft from Micromanagement here, they've got quite a bit of magic damage in that.
Yeah, yeah, I certainly, you got what three magical damage. I mean, it's still pretty balanced, right? Traditionally, you think of like 3 physicals, but this is just kind of taking it the opposite way, and I think that you can see a lot of, burst damage in that aspect. But it's going to put a little bit more pressure on this Gilgamesh to do more damage. So I would be surprised to see a more hybrid build coming out. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Excuse me, not Gilgamesh. It looks like it's a Fenrir jungle. I've misspoken. And so maybe a crit Fenrir. That would be spicy.
Well, hey, you never know. It could be Jingtian solo Fenrir support Gilgamesh jungle.
There's a lot of options on the table in that regard.
Cuckoo Harry, maybe? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a mage in that carry lane in this league, right? Shout outs to the Hera carry that we see. I think that was last season. I was a big fan of. Love it. It's always fun to see players maybe think outside of the box, right? But it looks like it's a pretty in the box sort of game. Besides that all-around pick.
Well, if you want to deliver a win, you're going to have to find something to pack it into, right? And a box is certainly the right way to do that. Put it in there, ship to your own door, open it up. Wow, what's this? Yep. It's a nice little win for me.
Wow.
Feels great.
What is a win? I don't know what that is, Spooky. How do you win?
Maybe one day you'll get there.
Maybe. I'm pretty excited, though, to see Slime on this Thanatos. I've seen Slime play Thanatos. He's done very, very well. And I think when we talked about that all-around kind of giving that attack speed stim in the ultimate, maybe a guy you wouldn't consider that benefits from attack speed is Thanatos, but he does, especially when you're trying to get those auto-cancels off.
And what better way to, meet the crit Fenrir than with a crit Thanatos? Definitely. But no, looking at the builds a little bit, I do notice that we have the Mannequin Soul, which is not really what I expected, right? Normally I'd expect something like the Gilded Arrow or maybe even the Vampiric Shroud, get those physical procs, a little bit of sustain in that lane. How do you feel about this Mannequin Scepter going up against the duo from the DU Demons here? Give us 1 second. Mr. Dino has a little bit of technical difficulties with his microphone, but he'll be right back with us as soon as Potts is done chewing on
it. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a little technical difficulty. As I was panicking there, we see a little aggression here in the duo lane, and I like it. That's a good way to make use of Soul, especially when your lane opponent is Oleron, right?
Definitely, and the Oleron, surprising to me over there, right? I was definitely expecting the Heimdall to be the carry, so maybe had a good heads-up play not picking up that Vampiric Shroud that I was talking about.
Yeah, it's a little weird, right? It's a little weird. You expect the all-around to go mid-Heim, stay in the carry role. Instead, we see a little bit of switch up. Maybe that's going to be the trick to getting this all-around to come up. Obviously, having a support there to kind of keep all-around alive. Early game is very, very good. But again, that pressure from that Soul early game it's tough to match as an all-around.
Most definitely. I would fully expect this to kind of start in favor of micromanagement here. But as the game goes on, I definitely do think that Oleron might scale up a little bit better. He's the only magic carry to be able to crit. And that's something worth considering. And not to mention, like we talked about earlier, the Sanctified Field is such a huge ultimate in the late game, or even the mid game, right? Slowing everyone down, slowing down those projectiles, and just kind of zipping around in there. They're definitely going to want to put this Oleron behind early, I think, with this Thanatos.
Yeah, I think you covered it in the pregame. That Sanctified Fields is, excuse me, is able to blink in here.
And now Lucio Horde is in a lot of danger, but he is managing to push himself away from this. Loshak right there behind him. And it looks like they do actually get away there. Sorry, I say Loshak, that's Koslov.
Yeah, this is what I'm pretty much expecting out of this matchup. I think, you know, I think that DU Demons has done a very good job of keeping this all around alive and sort of playing the matchup to their advantage. At the same time, micromanagement also doing a good job of kind of playing their matchup in that regard, as well as they now have a level up on their opponents.
Yeah, really clean play, and it's a little unfortunate they weren't able to find anything there, but now we see another little small skirmish over in this solo lane, where Ozma's just kind of been bullying Avery around here, really using that disarm to their advantage on this one. And you take a look at the gold, right? He's doing very well for himself, right? He's got a little bit more gold per minute, and if he's able to keep that up, it could really start to snowball into something big.
Yeah, Bluestone, a lot of aggression you get out of that. Death Still Bologna, though, not really slacking in the aggression department, as we see the dive-in.
Bender trying to return the favor, but he's slimy, and that is it. Kozlov picks up the kill onto the Banjo. Nicely rotated. Now they're going to look for some farm in this jungle, but everything is down. They're just going to have to settle for the kill.
Yeah, I think that's just great play recognition. Recognize the solo laners a little low, and then they bring the double pressure there to gank and just find 2 kills.
Now some pressure being put onto Big P there, but not too bad. He's able to retreat under the safety of his tier 1, but this gives the DU Demons access to these neutral camps. And, it's not something that people really give a lot of credit towards, right? Those neutral camps are a very important factor in these games, right? The more neutral camps you get, the further ahead you get, and that can once again add up to be quite significant.
Yeah, I think the neutral camps sort of separate the men from the boys, if you will. As you see an ultimate coming out from Soul there, just missing the target. Unlucky. But yeah, those neutral camps, very big for getting that farm. And you see another gank here.
Stun comes out onto Avery, but he's able to jump out and find his ultimate just for the zoning. He's able to survive for now. Looks like it's going to come at the cost of his blue buff, though.
Yeah, last time around, not too much loss from that gank. Obviously, you lose your life. A little bit of gold, right? You lose the first blood bonus. But now you lose out on that blue buff, and it's going to be just that much harder to stay in that lane, especially when you're already struggling.
Yeah, this is a lot of pressure coming out from the DU Demons onto this solo side right now. They do not want Avery to be able to get into the mid to late game at a good level on this Gilgamesh. And I can't say I blame them, right? He brings so much to the table in the team fights. You definitely want him behind when those fights start happening.
Yeah, I think we've seen an interesting shift in sort of player mentality, right? I think the old adage would have been you'd never gank solo lane, right? But we're starting to see solo laners almost be able to hard carry games by themselves, especially if they get online really early and they can rotate. And I think that with that Bluestone, they're just a little bit weaker, as opposed to maybe starting off with your breastplate, whatever start that, or Gaia start that you would have traditionally started off with. And that's just allowing those junglers to just be able to do that little bit of extra damage to get the kills off. And that has been very huge for putting solo laners. Seems like that's DU Demon's strategy kind of coming into this is, hey, let's put this Gilgamesh behind because Gilgamesh can be a problem if he gets ahead.
Yeah, I think another factor of that is just how much farm is on that side, but now the Hovering Death is in the air. Maybe looking for a rotation here. Does come down onto the backliner. Big P taken out by Asma, who's now rotated over. Ragnarok comes through. Stun does not connect from Asma. And now that's the Whirlwind of Rages. Back into that tier 2. He will be falling there. Aki picks up that kill. Now they're looking for an invade on this red buff, but who's this? Son of Two Dog is here to say, stop it. Stop it. Might still be in a bad position though, Dino. Killjoy is here, and the rest of the micromanagement is coming forward, but Killjoy falls to Slimy. Micromanagement not far enough forward to help him out here. Now they're being pushed back as DU Demons are looking to re-engage, but that's a great dropkick coming in from Gilgamesh now. Two Dog gets out with the Bifrost, but Banjo's in a lot of trouble, being melted down. The fire keeps on coming from Kozlov as Slime Game does find a way out, but the Spirit of the Nine Winds does connect on the Son of Two Dog, and Avery finds Kozlov. Nice turn from Micromanagement.
Yeah, I mean, really good job, I think, by DU Demons to sort of be looking for that +1 thing, right? They go in, they get the kill, they take the red buff, right? They stick around maybe a little too long, and that opens up a window for Micromanagement to kind of go in. And at first, it looked like it wasn't going to work out for them. But again, DU Demons sticks around just a little too long, and that allows Big Pete to get in that Spirit of the Night Wins, get the kill, and that kind of sort of rolled forward. And I think Micromanagement were able to get a little bit out of that, and mitigate the loss, if you will.
Yeah. You take a look at the gold leads, though, it's still somewhat in DU Demon's favor. It's not massive, but maybe it's not good, right? You don't like seeing the gold lead go in the other team's favor, but with it being this small, it's not too bad. The big objectives are still on the map. But Dino, with the way these fights are kind of going right now, it seems pretty even, as the charts indicate. Where do you think the teams have to look to try to give themselves a real edge?
I mean, I think if you're Micromanagement, you're looking to get those extra objectives, and this is a great start by Killjoy. Just sort of pushing back that maybe you could look for a purple buff invade. Unfortunately, not up for him, but maybe the extra pressure will allow that to happen in the future. And I think that, if you're Micromanagement, that you have to look for the side camps, as we talked about earlier, make sure that you're taking whatever you can get, and on these team fights, looking for that little extra something,
Now Killjoy in a lot of danger, does fall to Slimy Games on a nice rotation. You were talking about a purple buff invade, but I don't think this is the one that they wanted to have happen.
Not if you're Micromanagement, that is certainly true. And I think that we've seen that DU Demons maybe just a little bit extra experienced in that regard. And I mean, it's a little easier too when you're ahead, right?
Most certainly. Now a little skirmish over the Oracles. A lot being committed onto Slimy here, but the science comes through. Whirlwind of Rage Steel is started up. Now Slimy has found something. Banjo, with the ultimate used, is not able to find a kill, but now is Kozlov looking for more. Gets caught in the tornadoes, walks back into the Spirit of the Nine Winds. Not dead yet, as now Ozma is rotating in, trying to find something to make it happen. Slimy, though, with the Death Scythe, is able to pick up Big P 209. Now the Gold Fury still on the map may be where the DU Demons are looking next.
Yeah, I think maybe a little early for Gold Fury. Traditionally, you want to look around 12 minutes because it could cost you a bit, but they have such an astounding lead that's still on the table for them.
Sanctified Field comes out for the Secure. They do get the Fury. Avery drops the Winds there. I'm sorry, that was just his leap, not the Winds. And they are able to walk away, disengage, without losing any more than that Gold Fury. But even only losing the Fury, it's about a 2,500 gold lead at this point. Not feeling too good if you're Micromanagement.
No, I think, with Fenrir, picks like Fenrir and Soul, you really kind of want to be on the front foot, right? Sort of making those things happen. But you still do have some weaknesses. You got that all-around that you can always be looking to pick. The problem is that Thanatos is ahead, and that sucks. So you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with that Thanatos pick now.
Yeah, definitely. Thanatos, while he's ahead, is never a good thing to deal with from the other team, right?
Right.
So much burst coming through there, and the setup potential as well, right? And he doesn't even scale poorly into the late game, but now there's a rotation coming through. Bifrost is good enough, and so is Kozlov's jump. Micromanagement is still trying to make something happen, but they haven't really been able to find their footing to really secure anything.
Yeah, they've been reacting, I would say, instead of proacting, right? You see DU Demons kind of coming up with plays. They're looking for ganks. You can see Thanatos sort of sneaking his way to the right-hand side map here, maybe looking for a gank. And so what we've seen is that kind of play happen from DU, and then Micro just reacting to that. And they've got to really find the front foot and be proactive in order to catch back up, I think.
Yeah, and they're still even in the carry lane, right? They've still at least got that going for them. Maybe they need to look a little bit more over there, try to make something happen. As now there's another fight happening. Drop kicked into the tower. Ozma has to take a couple hits there. And now Killjoy has found the kill. But who's this in the air? It is Slimy Games, but it doesn't connect. The hovering depth's no good. Whirlwind of Rage Shield tosses him in, but here's Ozma to tank the tower shots for him, pick up the kill on Avery. He will fall to Akivo. But but that is still a 1-for-1 trade. Now the blue buff once again under duress. Akivo trying to make something happen here, trying to pressure it out, but he's all by himself in this 2v1. I don't think he can afford to stay here and take this fight any longer.
Yeah, I think a little lucky that DU kind of backs off there, because they certainly might have been able to find him as well. But I think that's, again, a positive for DU. They get the kill, and then they turn it into a nice little blue buff invade.
Yeah, I gotta give credit to Ozma on that one, though. Slimy would have been in a very bad position if he just got ulted straight into that tier 1 tower. But Ozma steps in before him and just soaks up the tower aggro for him so he doesn't take those extra shots. Sure, he loses his life for it, but he still manages to protect his jungler, and you gotta give credit where credit's due. That's a great gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, you're 2 levels up on the Gilgamesh. You want to keep that Thanatos as far ahead as possible. I think that you're right. That's a great play. That's a great play by Asma there.
Now, what's also a great play is the Totem of Coup, which Avery will be picking up for micromanagement. You love to see that. Always feels
Huge.
good when you're in a rough spot.
As a former mid laner, big fan of the Totem. Big fan of the Totem.
But now we might see an invasion coming out as Thanatos blinks in on Killjoy, takes him out in... Goodness. No, don't do it to him, Slimy. Another purple buff invade comes through. Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, this Thanatos pick has been absolutely lethal. Lethal for DU Demons. And I think that you're just seeing a big snowball, and micromanagement is probably going to have to start grouping up a little bit more and figuring out a way to maybe handle, as we see the mid 3v3 grouping up for DU. And you got to be able to make something happen there. I think a lot of times you're tempted to stay in lane and farm up, and I think that's a trap in and of itself.
Seeing a thing happen over this Pyromancer here. Micromanagement is showing up, but DU Demons, I think, do still have the edge, and they're showing a little bit of hesitancy as they do have Secure from Kukulkan on the other side. Now we see an engagement. Asma trying to go in on Kukulkan over here, trying to take him out, but he gets erased. The Banjo and the Serpent of the Nine Winds connecting onto him. Hovering Death comes through onto Avery. He's so very low. Son of Two Dog, though, takes Avery down, secures that kill. The Sanctified Field is dropped for this fight. Banjo on the run. He falls to Slimy now. But Kozlov is still going in. He still wants more, but he's taking up so much damage and doesn't have much backup here. But Slimy doesn't care. That's a double kill for him now. And that's going to be the end of that particular engagement. Very nicely won by the DU Demons, only losing Ozma 3-for-1 trade.
Yeah, we start off with that engagement. We see, Ozma kind of going by himself and get punished harshly for it. And then we start to see micromanagement do the exact same thing. And, at first it was a really good play. That's the sort of play, you want to pick off Ozma, right? That's the sort of play you're looking for when you're behind. And then, you see Banjo leap in. He's got some low health bars, maybe get a pick, but the rest of the team of micromanagement doesn't follow up. They're not right there behind, and it seemed like maybe a disjointed call or something like that kind of messed them up.
Yeah. On one hand, you lose 3 people. On the other hand, you get a kill, and you still stop the pyro take. So it's a small, at least moral victory, right? You get the morale up a little bit. You say, hey, we managed to stop him. But now the Oni Fury is being pulled. Vines come up to stop Killjoy from coming in. And the Oni Fury is now dropped. It's only Akivo walking in. And there's just this hesitancy from DU Demons to take the fight, it seems like. Now Ozma is in the back looking for Killjoy. He's found his target, putting a lot of damage down, but the tornadoes have landed on him as well. But oh dear, who's this going through the 9 winds realms? Is Big P. Slimy still finds the kill, and Son of Dewdog finishes off the mid laner for micromanagement.
What a play, man. You bait out the Soul 3, and then you Eagles rally into Thanatos ult. Just absolutely delete the poor man. Didn't have a chance in the world. Great play by DU Demons.
Now they get to pick up the Oni Fury on top of it, 2-for-0 plus a Fury. You're feeling really good if you're the Demons right now. Expand their lead to 4K.
Yeah, and I think, the worst mental here would say if you're micromanagement, you're already looking at Game 2. What are we doing in Game 2 here? But they're not completely out of it. I think 4K isn't the worst. 17 minutes, it's a little rough, but you can certainly come back from that. You just have to figure out what you got to do. And I think that what you have to do is start grouping up and maybe trying to find some of these lone wolves alone, getting, you know, those favorable matchups, start to get some picks, and then roll that into maybe some towers or something, or objectives.
Yeah, I'd really like to see DU Demons maybe start up a Fire Giant with these Oni minions
Yeah.
pressuring these lanes now. But looks like they're all going to go ahead and reset here, use some of the gold they got from the Fury and the fighting, and just kind of get ready for their next power spike. But leaving these objectives on the map, it gives micromanagement a little bit more time to farm up and get back into things here.
Yeah, I think that 17, 18 minutes in the game, it's a little risky to go for Fire Giant, right? And I think that certainly you could find yourself at low enough health where micromanagement could definitely turn that if they played it correctly. And so maybe they're just kind of waiting, you know, farming up. But again, they're in my opinion, they're so far ahead that I think that they could manage to pull if they play the Fire Giant properly.
Now we see that Slimy has gone for the Blood Forge. This man was hitting hard already. He was already hard to kill. Now he's going to be even doing both of those things even harder, right? That is a scary item if you're micromanagement right now. And with him being 7-0 and 5, he's had no trouble securing those kills to get that shield. You might need to get a little bit more anti-heal online.
Yeah, interesting to note. Not very much penetration coming out of the Thanatos, but you know, he's got it built into his 2, so you don't really need it, especially when you're so far ahead. And that Blood Forge, I mean, on Thanatos, absolutely a great item pickup, especially when you have to kind of dive into engagements, right? You dive in, you get that execute, boom, you got that shield, and now you're steamrolling, right? You're getting shield after shield after shield, and I think that is definitely a great pick.
Trying to make something happen over on the duo lane. Lucio Horde has the ultimate forced out, but it's just not enough. Banjo picks up that one. Lucio now 0-3 on this Olaran. They're putting good pressure on him, but now the Fire Giant is being pressured by the rest of the demons. They know that 2 of them are over on the left side. Micromanagement doesn't have contest here, but Avery looking to come over this wall. Kukulkan with the Super of the 9 wins. Can they steal it? Yes, they can! They get the Fire Giant! Hovering Death comes down and he takes Big P out. Will this steal be worth it? Avery trying to jump away, but he's followed by Slimy with the blink. However, Akibo comes in. He's enough to push them back. Fire Giant on 4 members of micromanagement. That is big for the blue team.
That is huge. I mean, you can just tell with the gold swing. You know, now they're looking at it being only about 2,000 behind, and you know they're right back in it. 1 Spirit of the 9 win secure is enough, and that's one thing that we haven't talked about. Is, I mean, with that Kukulkan, you have a lot more objectives secure than a team that has an Olaran and a Heimdall and a Thanatos, right? And so I think that stealing objectives is actually a really smart play by micromanagement there.
Most definitely. Now looking to stop Osmo's back, trying to put some pressure on him. Brutalize comes through, but here's Killjoy to try to help out. He's the one picking up that kill. Nice stellar burst there. But yeah, the Fire Giant call, I think, is a little bit riskier without having Lucio there for the Sanctified Field, because that's where most of Dayu Demon's secure is going to be, is just slowing down everyone else so that they can burn it faster than the other team can reach it. Now it's going to be the tier 2 falling, no defense being put up here, and I do not blame them at all. Defending a tier 2 against this Fire Giant team, probably not worth the health bar trade you're going to take on that.
Yeah, maybe a little unlucky with the timing is, you know, Big P is nowhere near the rest of his team, right? But DU Demons kind of coming up and coming out of base a little staggered there allows for the easy tier 2 secure. And they might just get another one here as well.
Yeah, now Blink comes out of Akibo. Whirlwind to break the shield, start up. Spirit of the 9 win comes through. From the map, a Hovering Death is in the air. They're trying to make something happen. No, it's going to be coming back down defensively. Just not enough left to put up a defense there. Great play from Akibo.
Whirlwind of Rage and Steel into Spirit of the 9 wins. A combination as classic as peanut butter and chocolate. I mean, and it's just fun to watch every single time too. And I think that we're starting to see micromanagement find their footing. they're being proactive now, and they're starting to turn things around.
Do you have this against Jelly?
Yeah.
Most people would just say Jelly there. Are you sure the chocolate was the one to go with?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I just want
Are
to
you
make sure.
telling? I'm sorry. Are you telling me you don't enjoy a delicious, not sponsored Reese's peanut butter cup?
You know what?
Could be sponsored though.
I'm gonna say something that might be heretical, might give me flame.
Uh-huh.
Not a big peanut butter guy. Not
Wow.
super big on Reese's peanut butter cups.
This is unbelievable. Friendship
I know.
over.
I'm sorry. I had to get it to you.
I can't believe this.
But look at the swing though. Like micromanagement now 2K up.
Yeah.
Ozma still leading those player damage charts, but micromanagement have had just good team fights, good objective contests after that fire giant. They've managed to secure themselves a Fury. Sure, the DU Demons go ahead and get that Pyromancer, but that's really like a consolation prize at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say things have completely turned around, right? I think that, you know, in football or soccer, right, there's this kind of this belief that after you score a goal, you're more vulnerable to giving up a goal, right? And I think that's just because you have to, like, you know, change your mindset a little bit. And I think that DU Demons just hasn't adjusted to the mindset yet. And I think that now that they've lost the Fire Giant, they're starting to kind of refigure out where they stand power spike wise. And so now we're going to start to see maybe a little bit more competitive team fights, and they won't be isolated so easily.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is keeping track of Akivo here on this Jing Tian. We've seen a couple fights now where he's been able to just grab someone with that big ultimate, throw him out of position, and that's really been messing with the DU Demons. Slimy not quite able to get in fast enough in response. But like you said, they've had a little bit of time to adjust. They're not super far behind. They've still got plenty of opportunities to come back on this. Now Hovering Death comes through. Relics are forced out from Big P. The Spirit of the Nine Winds comes through, erases Slimy Games from the map. Whirlwind Raging Shield once again used to good effect. Now Ozma's on the retreat, but Banjo is following. He's got a dragon right behind him to stun him off, though. And that will be enough to get Banjo out, but he's coming back in now. They're looking for more. Son of Two Dog does get out with the Bifrost. He's not ready to give up yet, but Akivo does still find him with a huge blink. Now Lucio trying to put the damage out, but he's just not able to find too much of it. Now micromanagement take the better end of that trade. 2 for 1. Sure, they lose the 209, but the Fire Giant's on the map, and I don't think DU Demons are in any position to contest this one.
Yeah, in fact, they're in the position where you're in the base, and it's going to take you probably too long to get here. And so now you have to figure out what you're doing. And I think at this point what you're doing is you're setting up those siege defenses, right? You're looking to defend the siege because you know it's coming. Fire Giant's going down. It's taking a really long time, actually, to secure this.
They're waiting for the 209. They gave him the Fire Giant buff. What a team. You know what? 209 better be thanking every single one of those guys on that team.
Yeah, no, that's heads up play by those guys just to sort of hold it. Just that extra little second, a little risky as we saw Ozma kind of barreling down. But I mean, unless you drop the Eagles rally, I don't think that you're walking away with any kind of steal with Bologna on that thing.
Yeah. It's now a really tough spot for the DU Demons, right? They can't afford to be out and about at this point, right? You've got to expect micromanagement to be deathballing at this point, right? Rotating as 5. Even though they aren't doing it right now, you've got to be expecting them to. And they're going to come crashing down on one of these Phoenixes. And you have to know which one they're going to, and you got to know how you're going to defend it. And right now, it's looking a little tough.
Well, meanwhile, Tier 1 in mid goes down. A little sneaky play for from the demon side there, and it looked like they were going to group up in left lane. Micromanagement was, but it looks like they're going down mid lane now. And in fact, it looks like Banjo is actually in the back, sort of farming. And I don't know what exactly they're waiting for. Maybe they're trying to push up some of these minions and then go for the siege, which is the smart call, right? I think you don't want to have those backdoor protections, even if you have the Fire Giant. You got to be a little worried about tanking a Phoenix and also taking a fight, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, though, the DU Demons, they had 3 members on that right side there. That was a perfect time for micromanagement to engage and commit to that left side Phoenix. I think they've kind of missed their boat a little bit here. Now they're going to have to test against 5 members, and that's a lot harder than just 5v2ing a Phoenix.
It's like they're going to actually split push here. An interesting call from micromanagement. I like it.
Ozma blinks in. They're looking for something. Hovering Death in the air. Aegis comes out. Takes no damage from battles. Now Slime is getting absolutely melted again here. Killjoy finds the supernova right onto Thanatos for the field. Throws Kozlov away. Spirit of the Nine Winds still connects and takes the dragon out. Big Snake beats Big Dragon any day of the week, apparently. And now they're raging on into the Phoenix line. Some Two Dog very low. Avery trying to take him down, but the beats are forced as the Phoenix goes down. Ozma finds him with the Eagles rally. But now the DU Demons are completely on the retreat. Killjoy finds a second kill here. Lucio no longer in the fight, but Ozma still trying his best, raging against 3 members strong. Tornadoes don't quite connect. Now he's trying to run through the doors, but it's gonna be the Squall that finds him. Big P 209 finds the DSI. The micromanagement have found game number 1 in this set.
Yeah, great resilience. Great, showing a little backbone, right? Standing up, waiting for your opportunities, and then taking them. And then, obviously, that last Phoenix push, brilliant. I mean, great Aegis by Big P there. And then, Aegising that Thanatos ult. And then what most people don't know, Spirit of the Nine Winds actually goes behind. It starts behind Kukal, and that's how he gets that kill. And I think that's just good player knowledge coming out of Big P there. Secure the win for his team.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of credit to Big P on this one. His steal on the Fire Giant is what gets them back into this game, and they just take it the rest of the way as a team. And also big credit to Akivo on the Xing Chen. So many Blink ultimates were coming through and just making huge plays. And you just love it. That's what you want to see out of your support.
Yeah, I mean, Akivo, what a strong performance from this man on this Xing Qian. I mean, honestly, game 2 comes around, I'm thinking about just banning it. Just get it out of the way. Just leave it.
Speaking of game 2, we will have that up in just a moment here. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with more Smite action.
Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of DU Demons, facing up against Micromanagement. Dinosaur running the play-by-play, joined by Spooky Mars as the analyst.
Which means you are in for some absolutely fantastic play-by-plays.
I'm sure. I'm ready. I'm ready, buddy. And one thing to cover real quick. Unfortunately, we did lose the picks and bans. It was an issue kind of loading in with the players, and so we don't have that for you. But we do have some interesting picks here that did make it through, Spooky. You want to talk to us about those?
Wow, these picks are like kind of off the walls. I'm not sure what was banned in this game because I'm looking at a set getting through. I'm looking at Tiamat getting through. There's a Tsukiyomi and a Kokolin. I don't know what they were prioritizing here, but I do notice there's a lack of Jing Tian and Chiron.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, maybe that. And so we see an interesting dual lane, actually, a little bit straight from the meta. It looks like both teams may be leaning a little bit more towards, you know, comfort picks, right? You see Killjoy on this Ho Yi as some low health bars here in the duo lane.
Yeah, that's the Kokolin for you, right? He does so much damage in that early game. You add the blue stone on top of it. Sure, Tsukiyomi does a lot of damage, but you're not going to win those trades with Kokolin. He's got more abilities than you, and he's got tankier base stats than you on top of it. You're going to have a really hard time with those fights. But another thing that's worth noting, I think, is this Sentinel's gift that Cerberus has picked up versus the Benevolence on the Emoja, right? I've seen a little bit more of differing opinions on that recently. Personally, I still think the Benevolence is a little bit more valuable just because of everything it provides to you. The gold is so useful. The XP really doesn't matter all that much that you're losing. It's interesting to see players still going for the gift, but I definitely see the appeal, right? Making your whole team tankier, that's always nice, especially if you're maybe doing like a sovereignty build on top of it, adding the Gauntlet of Thebes. That's so many AoE protections. It definitely still has its place.
Yeah, I think Word of Thoth author Flareboot kind of did some math, and it turned out that basically Benevolence was better in almost every single scenario. And I can think of a few maybe that you would rather have Sentinel's gift. Maybe you just need that extra tankiness. You want to get some more attack items. And on a character like Cerberus, that's understandable, right? I mean, he does a lot of damage. And so maybe you're looking to abuse that situation. You don't necessarily want to go into Compassion where you're taking the damage from your teammates. Not sure. Definitely interesting for sure.
And once again, both supports opting for the Sundering Spear. We've seen Spear be a little more popular here recently as things have progressed. The extra damage you get to do to these supports is actually very useful. But oh dear, Ozma picking up that first blood.
Yeah, we've seen Ozma kind of run the show here in the solo lane in both games, you know, at least in the first game, and now starting to look that way in the second game as well. And Tsukiyomi certainly a character that can do that, right? As Pele now comes in.
Man, that's just ESET for you, right? So much self-peel on that god. You cannot afford to just walk at her because she's going to silence you, she's going to pump those stupid wing gusts into your face, and honestly, you just leave there feeling kind of silly about yourself. And that's really the main appeal of the ESET, right? She's got that safety, and she's got that huge objective secure in that ultimate. I like seeing the ESET being picked up a little bit more here.
Yeah, I know that is Son of Two Dog. That is a comfort pick for him, and he is deadly on that. And I'm excited to see, you know, I'm excited to see ESET. I'm a big ESET player. I enjoy a good ESET game as well. A little bit more weird for me if we're looking at these picks is that Hachiban, who's just like, he struggled, hasn't he?
You know, he's not quite as good as he was before, right? He took a couple nerfs in his animations. Really, that was the primary thing. But he's still a very safe god. It's one of Lucio's comfort picks, so it makes sense for me on this. But now, Saki in some trouble here.
As the dive comes in from the Ho Yi. Not going to be enough yet, but Cerberus sticking around. Feeling confident in his survivability after some of those abilities go off maybe now. Got to retreat to base.
Yeah, you do have to also keep in mind the Omi levels get pretty low there, but now Banjo looking for even more over here onto Ozma.
Yeah, Pele blinks in, gonna put in the big damage onto Ozma, making sure that Avery maybe keeps him in line, right, level wise, with their lane opponent.
Yeah, we saw a lot of pressure on this solo side in game one. It makes sense. We keep seeing a little bit more of that in game number two here, right? Avery took a little bit of a beating from Ozma. Ozma's very comfortable in the solo lane. He's an interesting case of a player, right? Where a lot of times you'll see players maybe just kind of be average in lane, but then you'll see them really come into their own in the team fights. Ozma's a little bit of the opposite, right? He's very much dominant in lane, but once things move to that team fight stage, we've seen him struggle a bit historically. So we saw a little bit of improvement on that in the last game, but still we saw some of those issues, going in by himself, kind of getting caught out. Be interesting to see how he continues to adapt and overcome those weaknesses. And if he can, I think that the team of the CU Demons are in for a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It's interesting to see them, right, go to the Tsukiyomi pick, a pick that is notorious for being able to, having to all in and being able to be caught out, right? See AV kind of going that. That's an interesting ultimate.
Yeah. Well, looks like he's just trying to get that wave fully cleared out. But oh, dear Avery, hello. He's here to prove me wrong in what I was saying earlier. Picks that kill up nicely, solo kill. But yeah, that looked like just a wave clear ultimate saying, hey, I need this gone. I don't want to lose tower pressure. Get me back to base so I can spend my gold. And if you expect to be back before that, really matters, I'm in support of that play.
Sure, I guess that's why you're the analyst. And I am the play-by-play guy, right? And we are going to see, just a little movement here. I mean, nothing too much. Those Riptides, I think, have been on point. I think, Aki being able to show that, he can definitely handle Umoja, right?
I'll say there's nothing more annoying than a Umoja who knows how to use the Riptides. I'm trying to have a good time here. I'm trying to do things in my lane. Can I stop being bounced towards you, please?
Yeah, not a big fan of being bounced.
Now the tower gate comes out.
Yeah, big blink. Iset ultimate is popped. Unfortunately, not going to do a whole lot of damage as Pele finds the kill. Looking for the double using her ultimate, does find it. Sak able to clean up the Pele, but is very, very low running under tower. But he's going to get enough separation. I don't think he's going to get punished.
Was very, very close on the knockup from Big P209 there. Fortunately, it's a little bit out of range, and I mean, that's just a good counter engage from both sides there, right? Banjo finds himself a nice double kill, now 3-1. So I think you're still pretty happy with that trade if you're micromanagement right now. We saw them struggle a little bit in the early game in game number one. They're really showing a bounce back here as now Ozma going in on Avery.
Yeah, bots in. Find the big damage. The snipe, if you will. Spooky Mars. Walk me through that one.
I mean, that's just good heads up on Ozma, right? He knows he can afford to take one or two of those tower shots if Avery does get back under that tier 1. He's aware of the range that they're at, so he knows he won't be in that tower for too long. And he's just got good follow-up damage. Disengages from the ultimate, throws out the 1, throws out the shuriken basic afterwards. Nicely done.
Yeah, nicely done indeed. See a bit of an invade attempt over here into micromanagement's jungle. Not much is going to result out of that. No team fight that maybe could have broken out. Now going for the neutral camps. Big Isis 2. Now a stun though on the succulent sock. But he's a tanky boy.
Yeah, I really think that right now there's a couple key areas to watch, right? Banjo right now 3-1. You can see his net worth 5,000. But on the other side, Ozma is right there. Sure, he might be 2-2, not as impressive a stat line, but he's doing good work. Now the ultimate comes out with Sock.
Yeah, ultimate pops right into the Isis 2. See the River's Rebuke now pop from the Umoja, and the chase on the Tiamat is going to happen. 1-for-1 trade out. Now Banjo finding the finishing blow onto Slime Games.
That's what I'm talking about, Dino. Banjo is huge right now. He's got the Pele AoE knockups. He's got the sustain from the passive, giving that extra bit of life steal for these fights. Those AoE lightning bolts from his basic attacks. He is in a really strong spot right now. But the DU Demons still have a set. And a set is a set, right? Sure, he's a little bit behind right now. But if they allow him to scale up into this mid to late game, he's going to be an absolute monster to deal with. I really like seeing this anti-heal coming out from Banjo, now looking for a gank over in the dual lane.
Yeah, it looks like he's charging up. Gonna go ahead, pop that knock-up, going straight for the carry. But Hachiman's safety gets him right out of there. We're using his ultimate. And just not much gonna happen from that, except for we'll buy him a little space to maybe grab the Scorpion.
Yeah, and I think if you're micromanagement, you still take that as a win, right? You forced out the ultimate, you got the Scorpion, you lost basically nothing off of that. You think you expended just a blink? That'll come back up. That's really no resources expended at all to get quite a bit of value from that gank.
Yeah, we see Killjoy there just face tanking that fire breath, which usually is kind of scary, but it looked like he's a beefy enough to kind of handle that, and that's a good place, I think, you know, for you to be in as a carry, right? You can eat Cerberus fire breath.
Yeah, luckily he still has those minions. He's got the dev gloves online. He's getting that life still going, and that's a big jump in. Ultimate comes down.
In, gonna drop the suns. There's the beads used by Lucia Horde. Now he's stuck under his tower. Little pressure as the back end. Here comes Yamoja, maybe for a sneaky play. Drops the dirty bubble, but not that dirty bubble. And I think that's all she wrote on that one. Never mind. Here comes Set. Gonna look for Killjoy. Wow. Did he just bounce it off the Riptide, Spooky?
It was either the Riptide or the rock right next to the Riptide, because that was massive amounts of damage coming onto Slimy there. Great awareness from Mike. Killjoy's not letting him have any bit of rest. Oh, there's another kill!
Finds another kill. What an insane play by micromanagement. And now they're going straight for the gold theory. I love it, Spooky. What do you think?
Honestly, micromanagement, they're just playing this very well. They are micromanaging the map very effectively. They're getting their kills, moving to the farm, moving from the farm, getting their objectives. This is perfect play right now. They're starting to get this lead a little bit further in their favor, almost 2K now. XP also 2K. And you take another look at their net worth here, and I think you'll find that Banjo's still pretty much on top of things right now. Well, actually, his Killjoy has overtaken it.
Tiamat minions in the left lane. Blink in now onto Ozma, and he's going to go down, but so is Banjo. A good return kill by Slime Games.
Honestly, that one I don't like as much. I do not like expending that blink there. Banjo is ahead. He's in a good spot. You don't want to blink into multiple people from the DU Demons and just kind of hand them a kill, right? You want to use your lead as effectively as possible. And sometimes that does mean you don't go for the kill, right? Sometimes you have to show a little restraint, pull back, and not say, hey, Demons, would you like to be back in this game?
Sometimes junglers are like sharks, Spooky. Taste a little blood in the water, and they lose their minds. And it happens to the best of us. It happened to Banjo, but you're right. I think sometimes you have to obviously consider. Hello, we got a little Winion situation here. Meanwhile, special thanks to Vile for pointing that one out.
Well, you know, gotta point out, you know, sure, Tiamat can have her Winions, but the Demons have theirs too. They're coming for you. You gotta be aware of everything. And that's just the pressure that Ozma's been able to exert over in this solo lane. He's been able to put so much onto that tower that his minions are just able to walk in and clean it up.
Yeah, now it looks like Tsukiyomi pushed into his tower. Maybe Banjo looking for... It looks like they're looking for that invade, maybe. And just nothing is around, unfortunately for them. As now Killjoy in a precarious situation gets stunned. Here comes the ultimate. No beads. No, he does beads. Here comes the ultimate. Adahachi stays in the air. Smart play. Gonna drop the suns. He's still taking a lot of damage. Just unfortunately does not make it out. Meanwhile, that gank in the right-hand lane is successful.
Yeah, lots of stuff expended there. I was on board with you there. That looked like a beat from Ho Yi on that one. Not sure, but holding on to those relics. getting up into the air, buying himself some time, and that allows Micromanagement to find the kill over on the right side, and that's allowing them to turn over to the Fire Giant. Doesn't look like the Demons are in position to make a steal play like Micromanagement was in the first game. So this one's looking pretty uncontested here, Dino. It's a very early Fire Giant, and it takes a long time to do, but the surprise factor of it, no one from the Demons really were aware that they were there. They don't have wards coverage up on it. You'd think they'd have a little bit of a heads up from, hey, but they're not on the map. But the sheer fact that it's before 14 minutes, no one's usually thinking about the Fire Giant in that moment. So it's a great play from Micromanagement to just say, hey, we're all here. They're over there. Just take it.
No, I can't even. You can't even blame DUD. It's 13 minutes into the game. This is like when you're like, maybe we could pull Gold Fury usually, and here Micromanagement is taking the Fire Giant. I mean, wow. Wow, what an aggressive play. And I like it. I like that they're looking for those objectives.
The crazy thing is their lead isn't even that big, right? So normally when you see a Fire Giant this early, they've got like a 5k lead, 6, 7k. They've got like a 2 or 3k gold lead right now. And that's after taking the Fire Giant. Like you said, that was such an aggressive play, but it was so smart. It was just awareness of where the Demons were on the map and how they could respond to that. And that's exactly what you have to have in this type of game. Now, interestingly, I do want to point out that there's an odd thing happening in this solo lane, right? Ozma seems to be having a great time of it, but he's a couple levels down right now. Well, now only one level. Avery not willing to let this one go without a fight, putting some pressure on him over there, but there's a siege onto this tier 2 in the mid lane right now.
Yes. You probably want your solo laner in on this, but apparently they don't feel like they need it. Maybe the Tiamat minions they think are enough. Tiamat is a pick that you know, Spooky. Maybe you could talk a little bit after this fight breaks up. Double stun, huge from the Cerberus, tries to pull him in. Does wrangle one big P. However, there was a beak used to maybe block the rest of the team from following up. Blink in from Succulent. Big Riptide gets the huge bounce. You'll love to see that. And the chase is still on here as Micromanagement retreats and tries to back off.
They're hunting for Killjoy really hard right now, but now he's retreated to Avery. That's going to have to be the end of their aggression as they now look for this tier 1 tower. That would be falling a lot easier. But big blink in from Avery, though, is putting the aggression on.
Yeah, looking for that aggression, diving in to the front back line, I guess, in that situation. And now here comes Succulent. Zoc realizing that they might have an opportunity to turn this fight. They'll blink in for Tsukiyomi, gonna use, and all he will be isolated though. Runs right into the Suns. There goes the Spirit Bomb from Iset, and is gonna find a cleanup kill afterwards. Slime Games gonna turn things around into the back line, and now Avery just gets juggled between 4 members of the Demons.
This is a huge turnaround for the Demons now. That is a great fight for them. It takes Fire Giant off of 3 members. Sure, Big P has the Fire Giant right now, and so does Akivo, but that's the mid of the support. You only have to worry about one of those right now. And now, the siege has turned around. Now is the Demons looking to take stuff off the map. There's a defense coming out, but will it be enough, Dino? I don't know.
Big silence disarm coming out onto that Tiamat. He's gonna up down. Succulent's gonna find the kill onto her, and now Aki is gonna get taken out as well. They will get the tier 2 tower, and things have quickly swung the other way. Is this deja vu, Spooky?
This has been a set of comebacks so far, Dino. Just when I'm thinking DU Demons might be out of this one, they're looking real bad, they're in a rough spot, they pulled around with an excellent team fight and a great engagement from Ozma there, right? He looked so very, very dead on that engagement. Just piercing moonlight straight into 4 or 5 members of Micromanagement. And he just goes in, he just survives, and the rest of his team follows it up, helps him out, and they're just able to peel for him and do their damage long enough to just send Micromanagement back in shambles.
Yeah, I think just looking at this comp, I mean, it's very strong team fight wise, right? You have a little question mark to who's sort of the, you know, the go-in first guy between Tsukiyomi and the set, but I think you basically want the Tsukiyomi, right? With that piercing moonlight ultimate. And that seems to be the case. And it's working out pretty well for them because their team fight is looking kind of right now.
And then, like, you have to consider the E-set ultimate as well, right? That was a huge factor in that fight,
Oh,
too,
yeah.
because it charges up with how much damage is dealt inside of it. That combos so very nicely with the Piercing Moonlight. You just slap that big circle down as Tsukiyomi's going through their team, and that's going to rack up damage in that circle, no problem. Then you just blow it up for massive amounts of damage onto the enemy team. That's game-changing right there.
Yeah, and we see, or what I thought was gonna be DU Demons giving up that Primal Fury for dominant position onto this Fire Giant, but it looks like they're backing off Spooky. You know, would you say giving up the Fury for dominant position would even be worth it? You see a stun placed on a Kakal kid.
In some places, yes. I think the biggest thing they were giving up there was the Fury for just resetting and spend their gold, but now Ozma looks like he's going.
Piercing Moonlight placed onto the back line. We see Rivers Rebuke and Avery all up here with the Banjo, and they are doing a little bit of work. Slime Game's finding a kill, and here comes the Suns from Ho Yi, gonna split up Slime Games, and now they can turn 3-on-1, but he pulls a rabbit out of his hat. Now you see him, now you don't.
This is the set we were talking about, Dino. Yeah, he's a little bit behind in the early game. So what? He's going to scale up and he's going to do set things. He's going to become nigh impossible to kill in fights. He's going to shred your backline. And now Micro is still the ones going for this Fire Giant. They have sent the demons back. This could be a heads-up play, but there's Sock to contest it.
Maybe a bait as they try to chase on Sock. He's going to take big damage from that stun. They're looking for the double stun from the Tiamat. Got that charged up. Going to put a little bit of damage. Not on Sock, unfortunately. They're going to back off. And Hoi does not find that damage. And that might have been enough to find the kill there on Cerberus. Unfortunately, don't quite get it.
Yeah, I don't like that chase very much, particularly. We saw Lucio able to just back behind a rock there because they were chasing Sock so hard. Now the Piercing Moonlight once again comes through.
Through the wall, but you're going to find 3 members of Micromanagement that are just going to say, stop, in the name of love.
Yeah, a little bit of a questionable ult there, right? Sure, you found Killjoy by himself, but is he really by himself? Probably not. We're into this game. You've got to expect Micromanagement to be all around each other, especially when it's at this Fire Giant. And then he's able to just buy time for them to get there by hopping up into the air there, and he just hangs out there, comes back down when his team is there. He's totally fine on that. Now that's a big ultimate that's been expended for the next Fire Giant contest here, which does look like it's starting up any minute now.
Yeah, that's a huge ultimate, but Ozma does have Blink coming up, so you can use that to maybe get into the backline now. As the stun is placed onto Avery, having to back off. No, the ultimate pops! Huge! 2 out of the E set. Ozma gonna find the cleanup kill, and now the advantage is for DU Demons. They're gonna find Banjo. They get the kill. Slime Games almost makes it up, but a big play by Killjoy using the ultimate. Big P is now low. Pops the Aegis. They're chasing him down. Now they're slowly picking off. Killjoy is next. Piercing Moonlight is used. Great escape from Killjoy. He sidesteps the Spirit Bomb, but he's gonna take the Flames head on Succulent. And finally, Ozma finds a triple kill on the Emoja, and that is a deicide.
That is massive from them. Unfortunately, that Yamoja ult, not quite on the mark there. Didn't split things up quite as well as I think Akiba was aiming for. But the focus from the Demons to just melt Avery when he tries to engage was on point. He uses the ultimate, he uses the Thorns, and he still just gets blown up. There was great focus from Micromanagement at the same time to try to take Slimy out of the fight, but unfortunately, that's the only one they get from the fight. Piercing Moonlight comes back up for Ozma. He's able to re-engage.
There's a lot. That's a double kill for the Fire Giant. Could it be a triple?
No,
it's a triple kill. It's a quadra. It's a quadra kill. The Fire Giant is OP.
You have no words, Dino. I have no words for this one. What is that? That's so sloppy. Like, you just, I'm trying to praise you, and you get quadra killed on the Fire Giant and hand it over to Micro. Hang on a second.
Oh no, Spooky's losing it, guys. Spooky's losing it. And instead now Micromanagement gets the cleanup, so you put in all the work. You die, you lose 4 people, and the enemy team comes by and finishes it off. Oh, that has to feel bad if you're Dayu Demons right there, but I don't think it is unrecoverable. Lucky for them.
Uh, I tell you what, Dino, if I'm in this game, my mental is unrecoverable after
No.
that one. I
This
got
is a ranked
quadrilled
game?
by the fire giant? Are you kidding me?
This is a ranked game, F6s. It's just 5 F6s right there. You know what? You just call it a day. You count your losses. You walk away. But this is competitive Smite. Luckily, you have a little bit more leniency. We have seen that come out of DU Demons, you know, in the past. So I think that, you know, a little hiccup, but you just got to move on, right?
Definitely have to move on.
Finds the Emoja, but I don't think that's going to stop this siege, Spooky. And speaking of siege, here comes little gremlins from that Tiamat character.
I'll have you know, Dino, they are salamanders and they are precious, okay?
No, they're not.
You hurt my babies
they're
like
not.
that.
Stop standing, Tiamat.
Now, Oni Fury now under duress. Dino, this game is completely flipped around once again. Micromanagement in control for so long. Loses a team fight, DU Demons take control. DU Demons get quadrad on the Fire Giant. Micromanagement right back in the driver's seat of this set.
Wow.
Now we're seeing them just start to siege down these tier 2s. There's only one left on the map. And there's still so many towers left up on their side.
Yeah, now we're going to see a siege right here on this tier 2 tower. Spirit Ball comes out, finds the Emoja that's big. Enough for Second to blink and use his ultimate pull. 2 members trying to get, that carry does not, but finds the 2 tanky boys. And here comes Piercing Moonlight as the chase down onto Dayu Demon's backline. Separates everybody, and it's a couple more kills right there for the DU Demons. And here comes the Kukulin. He likes his chances. They do find that tier 2 tower. Spirit Ball gonna hit Banjo, I think. And now they're going for the Phoenix. This is a big siege here, Spooky.
Yeah, I don't think this is really defendable from the DU Demons. A good Spirit Ball does push them away here. And okay, I'll just eat my words. It's fine, guys. I'll just eat Pro.
Oh.
Haha.
Ah.
But yeah, this is a... they still have this Oni wave here. And so it's still going to be tougher, but a good Spirit Ball, Dino.
Yeah, big damage onto the carry, and he's certainly got to get his damage. He's going to get right up after there. Killjoy does find a kill onto the set. What a big bomb from the E set. Son of 2 is just look great on this. Here comes the Suns, though. And Banjo now low on health, unable to escape the silence. The big Spirit Bomb. Killjoy desperately trying to get away, but Succulent Sun says no, uses the ultimate, and that is 3 members that Micromanagement will not have for the next 30 seconds.
You've gotta hand it to Son of 2 on this E set. He single-handedly turns that around. Siege, no problem. Spirit Ball, silence, I've got everything. He was on the mark with every single one of those abilities, and what a joy to watch. Maybe not if you're micromanagement, but the space that Succulent Sock was creating for him to make sure he could land those, also hugely impactful. Just great defense coming out of the DU Demons here. And honestly, if I'm micromanagement, I'm feeling a little bit bad about that one. I think they've really got to find a way to get someone onto Son of 2 back here. Get Banjo on this guy and get him out of the fights.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's out here playing Smite. Son of 2 apparently playing Street Fighter because his combos are insane. And now we're going to see probably a little preparation happening here for this Fire Giant. Got to be the next thing that everybody looks to. It will be up before it becomes an EFG. So the question is, Spooky, do you wait for the EFG or you just take what you can get?
I think right now, micromanagement fight around the Fire Giant. They still have a gold lead right now, right? Well, never mind. Everyone just backed. All the items are done.
Yep.
But honestly, Tiamat a little bit behind right now. Big P, 2 levels down still, hasn't finished his Ob Shard yet. That's going to mean he's not going to be hitting these tanks quite as hard as he would like to. Right now is kind of in the DU Demons' court. They've got all their builds online. They're the ones that kind of control this Fire Giant fight, and I think they look for the fight.
Yeah, everybody's ultimates are online. It looks like everybody's relics going to be online as well. That Spirit misses the target. So I'm excited to see this team fight. Everybody has everything, so they can go all in, and we're just
I think
waiting for the call.
I think
Spirit Bomb.
now is the
That's
go time. Aegis is still down for Ho Yi, and there's the blink in from Succulent Sock.
Looking for that Ho Yi. As you talked about, River's Rebuke is popped from the Emoja. And now that Eastset's in a bit of trouble being stunned, yeah, and gonna be taken out. Slime Games, however, returns the favor finding the Emoja. And now big damage being put onto the Ho Yi. And now 3 members possibly in danger here for Dayu Demons. As, yeah, there it is. Ozma finds the kill onto Big P. And things have gotten a little chaotic. Avery looking for Lucio Hard, gonna back off, probably the right call.
I'm gonna lie, Dino, that was the most interesting Pyromancer take
Going
I've
for
ever
the
seen in my
fire.
life. Oh no, they are too low for this. They're too low. This is so risky. Don't you remember the last time? Come on, dude. Don't you remember the last time?
Okay, nope, they've changed their mind. Slime in a little bit of trouble. No, turn their attention to Avery, who's going to delay that Fire Giant just a little bit longer. So certainly now.
Reset,
they cannot do
reset,
this.
please reset. Thank you, Slime.
No.
Thank you. Okay,
Fortune,
these 3 I think can do it. I think these 3 can do it. They've got the Hachiman here. They've got a couple tankier boys here for it. But here comes the Banjo.
Gonna dive in looking for Ozma. Gonna pause the rest of DU Demons to back off. They certainly could not complete it at that point. And unlucky, I guess.
Well, I guess you wait for the EFG at this point.
Yeah.
There's the answer, Dino. We wait for the EFG.
Right. I mean, I think an interesting talking point was they were low on health. They had some farm it looked up in the map. Maybe it would have been better for them to have farmed up. Maybe got this a little bit more warded or something like that. I don't know. Spooky, you're the analyst. Why don't you tell me what the play there was?
Would really like to see them just reset after that fight. Go back, get your health bars back up. Because those were so long death timers, right? You just go back, you get healed up, and you just rush straight to the Fire Giant. And you take it while they're still down, while they're still recovering. And you have that advantage there. Now, it's anyone's game on this fight, right? You still got a couple relics down, a few more than on that first fight. But DU Demons, they've got to clean things up a little bit on these engagements. I really feel like Sock's going in a little too soon, a little too far, and he's getting split up from the rest of his back line. And that's kind of what's allowing Micromanage to get in there and do.
Yeah, a little poke, a little dance as both teams are waiting on their last member. Instead, maybe going in that Yamoja finds the stun. No, just a little bit of playful poking, I think is the call there. And now the Scorpion's going to be taken as well. And maybe Succulent looking for a pick here finds the stun on the Killjoy. And it looks like they're trying to get that carry out of the fight as soon as they can. Maybe afraid of the Suns, maybe afraid of all that crit damage he's got built. And Succulent now going to use his ultimate to pull the Emoja all alone Spirit Bomb used, but is going to miss. Aki Nakamura now in a bit of trouble, going to take big damage from here. Now Piercing Moonlight being dropped. Banjo going to find Lucio Horde though. That is going to take care of their carry. And now they're 1 carry up. Spirit Bomb being dropped, finding his stun, fighting the silence. Big P takes out the set in the back line. And now Son of Two Dog finds Avery. And that's a 2-for-2 trade, Spooky.
I'm telling you, so far this has been a tale of Son of Two Dog. And he's put in so much work on this back line. Slimy and Ozma doing a lot of work on the front line, though, at the same time, right? These two units are working so well together, right? Ozma and Slimy drawing all the attention from the enemy backline onto themselves. But the thing is, it's not resulting in anything for either team, right? Because sure, Micromanagement is able to respond. They're able to get rid of Slimy, and they're able to get rid of Lucio Horde, right? So, 2 divers taken out. But now, they're the ones on the EFG, so maybe it will result in something.
Okay, Interessante. They do try to pick up this. Ozma is going to be enough to spook them away from the Fire Giant.
Not entirely, though. Killjoy is still here, putting some shots
He wants
into
it. They're still kind of whittling it down a bit, but the Fire Giant, for every second that you're not on it, is going to keep healing up. Ozma looking for maybe something. And it looks like he's just zoning and doing a good job of that. We magically teleport in time, at least on my screen. Little jump there. And
honestly, I really think something needs to change in how these team fights are being executed. I don't think Sock can afford to keep looking for the blink ultimates. They're
Yeah,
not really working out right now. I think maybe he needs to save that for peeling the Cullen away from his team.
could be the call, Spooky. Right now, teams are just kind of happy to do a little bit of poking. Meanwhile, Lucio Horde, sneaky, is not by his team, but micromanagement none the wiser.
Yeah,
In
Lucio
fact, they're
Horde.
gonna back.
Now, if they back off here, that's absolutely huge. Succulent Sock once again going in though. Killjoy already forced to jump out.
Yeah, and Ozma is chasing down that Killjoy as we saw Ruby's Rebuke go up, finding anyone. Big damage coming out of that East set. Slime Games also finding a kill. Now Avery and Big P turning things around. Avery finding a double kill. Ozma also, I think, finding a double kill there as well. And now it's a 2-on-1 against this Kukulin, and they might be able to get a kill, but instead they pull off of it, and Avery's going to turn back around. They're going to look for these minions. Or, I'm sorry, these harpies, excuse me. And Avery just waiting around the corner. Dash right in, find that stun. Here comes the Tsukuyomi back into action. And, I mean, pretty much everybody can take Fire Giant is gone, Spooky. And I don't think they can make much of a play at this point. But they're still poking.
Yeah, they really just need to leave at this point. This little chip damage onto Avery is not worth throwing. Just get back, reset, get your wards up, and be ready to go for the next EFG. All these fights have been so inconclusive, but now Ozma might be getting caught out here.
Getting caught out, he's gonna take big damage using the disarm to try to get away, but the chase is on. And here we hear the piercing moonlight go off, gonna find a kill maybe on Avery, because here comes Succulent Sock, the turnaround, the knockup from Banjo, not gonna be enough disarmed, and that's critical on a Pele, gonna try to get away, but the Shuriken finds another kill.
This is what one of these teams needed, all right? They needed to find a couple picks here to kind of offset the EFG fight. Now they've got the numbers advantage. They've got the 5v3. Micromanagement is going to have a very risky contention here. I don't think they can even look for a contention as much as a steal, but it doesn't even look like they're showing up to it, Dino. These two picks, absolutely massive and completely game-changing right now. The Fire Giant is going to go down uncontested, and now Micromanagement is in a really, really tough spot. EFG on 5 members. You've got a 5v3 defense. You can't really step up to your Phoenixes very well at this point.
Yeah, but 2 tier 2 towers do remain, Spooky. And I'm not sure that I think the call is to actually take the tier 2 towers first. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like the Phoenix it would have been the better play, but...
I don't know, I can understand getting rid of these tier 2s. I would have liked to see them go for maybe that right side Phoenix first, then transition to the tier 2, make the Titan a little bit weaker, and then look for something else. But now, you know, all the members of Micromanagement are up. It's a 5-on-5 for your Phoenix fight. Maybe they're just waiting for Son of Two Dogs Ultimate to come back up. I really feel like the go button was that 5-on-3. Get the Phoenix. Get yourselves a hard advantage so that when you look to siege down this left side, they have those right side fire minions to worry about.
Yeah, and they do have that EFG bonus, so 5-on-5 is in DU Demon's favor. You see how the Caltrops drop. Gonna look for that pick yet again on the Umoja. Spirit Bomb's gonna stun her in place. He's gonna get away as Tiamat using that tornado, that nifty little tornado move there to spook everybody away. And the siege is still continuing. Fired. Yep. Fire damage put on. Avery gonna try to dive and knock everybody away. And Ozma is all alone. Banjo unable to do anything, gets absolutely murked on, as well as Avery, and the backline is strong for the Demons. Low health bar though, and Son of Two Dog gets stunned. Surely gonna find his death as he was sundered as well. The bouncing bubble not gonna find the kill. Instead, Succulent Sock is the one to pay the price. Minotaur is launched out Spirit Bomb to try and peel, and the stun is big. What? The heal? The big heals from the alternate timeline. You'd love to see it. Not going to be enough. Only delaying the inevitable. Now Lucio Horde going to try to find something. Finds 1 kill. Oh, he gets deleted by Killjoy. Almost finding 3 slime games. Likes his chances here. Tries to go back in. Decides that he actually does not like his chances. And that's I don't know, Spooky. A pretty big siege defense, right?
That was a wild ride. Okay, and once again, it's gonna come back to one thing. Succulent Sock, I really feel needs to stop looking Killjoy with this ult. Blink, Sticky, and Torments are not working on the Ho Yi. Just gonna out. And if you're gonna look for those, you have to at least wait for the jump to be down. Every time he's just pulling Akivo on this Yamoja, he's throwing her back into his team. She throws up the River's Rebuke. It's kind of a wash there, right? You're losing a big part of your team fight by looking for Killjoy on this. Maybe you look for Big P. Maybe you look for the Banjo, who definitely got erased. That was great focus coming out of the D. But you have to change something in your strategy, right? It's clearly not been working for the past few fights. All the one fights have been counter engagements on counter engagements.
Yeah, and now it looks like attention is being put on this Pyromancer. I think late game, Pyromancer not really worth the fight when you're looking like you only got 3 people, and instead Tiamat not going to go for her red buff as Lucio Hard also going to do the same, and a big group up from DU Demons in the mid lane.
As a mid laner, I love my red buff. And honestly, if you're going to go for it late game, this is the time, right? You've just defended against your Phoenix. The Fire Giant isn't up yet. Pyromancer already went down. Get the buff. Get ready for the next Fire Giant fight, because that's most likely where you're going to be seeing something happen here. However, the DU Demons are showing a lot of presence in lane right now.
Yeah, they're certainly standing on the front foot, and the Fire Giant buff finally leaves Slime Games, but Slime Games looking for the split push there in that left lane, and micromanagement has not caught on, or at least they're not interested in starting to engage. Instead, they're going to rotate onto that set, and he's got to get out of there.
He might not be able to. Though. Oh no, he's walking right into them.
He's zagging. He's gonna use his little minion to get out. But here comes Aki with the River's Rebuke. It is massive, the stun, but no follow-up from the rest of his team. Instead, the Sunder Place is going to put some damage, and now the set is going to walk away.
It does force out the beast, though.
Yeah. There it is. Once again, same story. Spirit Bomb on to this time the Calling. It gets Killjoy, steps up a little too far, takes a huge amount of damage, has to drop. The Sun's Asbun now finding a kill. He finds a double kill. Big P is low on health. He gets Silence taken out by Lucio Horde. And this might just be the game as the disarm is placed onto that Yamoja. Banjo rotating. Damage is huge on the Phoenix. And now they turn their eyes to the Titan. It is getting slowly whittled down, and it's going to be tough for this Pele and this Yamoja to find anything. It's a stun. It's 2 members. Big ultimate, though. Banjo trying his gosh darndest to make this happen. But the Titan is down to low health, and it is eliminated as Slime Games finds a final kill onto Banjo.
What a ride. Great team fights coming out from DU Demons there. We've had a couple messy points there, I will not lie. Some of those were a little scuffed, but they pulled it back at the end. Big Succulent Sock ult forced beads out from the Tiamat. That's huge. Forces Killjoy to jump away, and they're able to put so much damage into Avery on the colon. And they're able to do this because they know that Akivo is all the way over on the left side trying to deal with Slimy. He's already expanded his ultimate. They know that they have the advantage in this fight, and they just focus very well on their targets. And then a little bit of a misposition from Killjoy has him take a little bit too much damage, but a great flank from Ozma has him just pumping damage right into that back line, and that's what really allows them to just take it all the way forward. Great play all around. I really got to shout out Son of Two Dog on. He played this E set out of his mind. He had an insane Phoenix team. All the fights he was just on the mark with. And micromanagement knew it too. They were trying to get him out of there. Good, but the man is slippery.
Yeah, I think great play by both teams. I would say that the team fights looked even above what you would expect out of those gold plat players that are in this league. So I'm excited to see what happens in game 3. Speaking of which, we're going to cut to break, and be back for that game. We'll see you.